Alrighty guys, so just got home and I was aware of this like an hour or two after when all the info dropped, but yeah, so as you guys know, all of this is going to be happening tomorrow, right? Now, one thing which I was kind of wondering, because on the JP side of things, Momo didn't come alone, right? Now, it's being advertised as, hey, it's Momo and the recollection card, right? On JP, that wasn't the case. What they've actually done on the global side of things, which is very sneaky of them, and this just kind of shows developers' true color even more. If you actually go into it, and I'm sure some of you guys may be aware of this, but if you aren't aware, so the SSR character Don't Look Down on Me, Momo, and the SSR Recollection Bits, Curse, and Soap Bubbles are only included in this gacha, and some gachas held during the same period as this gacha. Additionally, Bloodborne Resolve Kamo is also introduced into this gacha, but the probability is the same as other characters of the same rarity. So they've kind of snuck that in. Now, to be fair, it's not as bad to whereas it was on JP. Now you're probably wondering, why is that? Well, Kamo is just going to be coming in as a regular SSR character with rates with the other SSRs. Right? So you've got basically more of a higher chance for Momo to pull up, whereas on JP it was a 50-50 because they were both at the same rate. So upon hearing and seeing this, I'm just like, oh, they're sneaky. And then I realized, oh wait, it's the same rate as every other regular SSR, which means Momo will be the only character on the banner alongside with the recollection card, but character wise with the 0.7%. So it's not as bad. But at the same time, I'm not sure why they didn't pre-announce this. Because even though Momo is at 0.7%, you're adding an additional SSR character into the pool, so it is kind of making it so that, you know, it's making the chances of pulling Momo that a little bit more harder, since you've got another SSR character in the pool. But rate-wise, it's only Momo that's getting the rate up. So it's a bit of a W, I guess. But they should have pre-announced it. In terms of if you do pull this character, let's kind of go through on what we're looking at. So, Kamo is going to be a blue attacker. I'm just going to say this right now. He's on the... Actually, you know what? Let's go through his kit and then I'll give my final thoughts. So, characteristic. When flowing red scale state deactivates, increases own damage received. So, that's the characteristic. So, first skill deals 100% melee taijutsu damage. If flowing scale, red scale state is active, then you get an increase of damage by 15.8%. So you can buff that up to 20%, and then obviously your melee damage will also go up if you want to put some levels onto that. Second skill increases own taijutsu damage and jujutsu damage, and activates flowing red scale for 3 turns, and then recovers own cursed energy for by 5 every turn for 3 turns. So basically, the skill 2 will always be the initial skill that you'll activate first, and with that you can buff up the taijutsu and jujutsu damage. So yeah, there's that. And then of course the third skill, it's doing ranged Jujutsu damage to a selected enemy. If you've got the flowing red scale active, then you will do AoE damage. So it's single target initially, but if you activate the second skill, it will become AoE. So there's that. And then the ultimate, 830 ranged Jujutsu damage to a selected enemy. And if you do have the second skill in effect, then it will do an increase of 30%, of course. Damn, 1300. Okay, I was expecting a little bit more. And then when it comes to combination, you and your allies' damage will increase by 10%, and then you will do 100% to a selected enemy damage. Target, doing 100% damage. There you go. All right. So a fairly mid. Well, I mean, to be fair, for global as of right now, Kamo will be pretty decent to have as a blue attacker. I mean, right now, Go just kind of holding it down, but obviously in terms of losing that 7-turn period, Kamo will come in and fit that attacking role for the blue side, especially with that second skill. So he's not horrible, he's not bad. I would say he's above mid. For right now, for global, he'll be fairly decent. So like if you do pull him, you can actually kind of utilize him quite comfortably, I will say. Over time, value will drop clearly. He will be on the same level as like Junpei, of course, but I think for right now, for where global is at, you can make good use of this character. So for right now, for global, this will be one of the I guess one of the better blue attacking units that you can make good use of. Obviously, always make sure that you're starting things off with your second skill, and then at that point, you can pretty much have your way with do AoE damage or whatever, right? Just kind of getting that damage going. Oh wait, I need to also look into memory cards, of course. Now, I will say, obviously, with how things are right now, well, with how the things are being rushed and all that good stuff, if they made it so that Kamo and Momo on the banner themselves both go at 0.7%, then I think that would have been even more hectic. The fact, because I think, to be fair, right now the chase for Momo is on, and so to have other things interfere on pulling Momo will just make things even worse. So I'm actually happy that even though Kamo's coming into the game, and that they didn't really, well, and they kind of secretly announced it, I'm glad that he's just coming in as a regular general SSR character. By the way, he will have his own standalone banner at a later time. I just want to clarify that. So there's that. You are going to have the opportunity to get him. Not a character which I would chase for. I'm not too sure when they're going to make it so that he will have a standalone banner. But yeah, as a blue attacker, he's for global right now above average. I would say you can make good use of him, but I wouldn't chase him at all. You can still comfortably power through with Gojo. Gojo really is just powering through with being like just handling business for blue attackers. So there's that. But yeah, I think it's not as bad as I thought it would be. He's just kind of been thrown into the mix with the general pool. You've still got a higher chance to pull for Momo, so it's nothing too crazy. It's just another addition for the blue attackers, something that you can really utilize. So for example, you can throw in Gojo, and then when the 7 turns are up, if you need that continuation of that blue attack and support, you can throw him into the sub spot. He'll come on in when Gojo disappears, and then you can continue on. Because I will admit, for right now, Kamo will do quite nicely in terms of the damage that he can dish out for where the global is at right now. But again, like I said, over time things will dip down for him, unfortunately. But for right now, you can get your usage out of him, and that he'll be fairly decent to have. So yeah, the banner itself isn't too bad. I still stand by to what I have said beforehand, with the free-to-play, with how things are with the game itself, with how quickly they're releasing characters. Just keep your mind set on limited characters, because all these characters will be thrown into the general pool a lot sooner than later, and then you can utilize your regular tickets, which you should be saving, to actually pull all these characters if RNG is in a favor. But it's, yeah, that's going to be the best route to kind of go with. But yeah, so yeah, in terms of memory card, so by the way, I'm not too sure if this is going to release or not, but when Kamo's event releases, which I feel like they're going to keep from when he has his standalone banner, this is going to be the memory card. But I'll just talk about it now, because I don't know if they're going to release it or not. But when command skill ultimate skill is active, increases all allies Jujutsu damage by 13%, since we're going to be able to max it out. And then you also get a 5% recovery on the HP at the start of the wave. So that's going to be the free-to-play one, which God knows when. But in terms of when you are using Kamo, of course, he is going to be attacker, so you really want to maximize mainly on the Jujutsu side of things, I will say. But obviously the Gojo free-to-play camping card is also fairly decent. Again, non-standard, that one will be universally loved by any type of Jujutsu user. You can also capitalize on using adult time, get that big increase in the damage there, of course. Pride will again universally be loved forever. I mean, again, for the Jujutsu damage increase. So if you have been able to beat Jogo as a boss, then you can maximize using that. And then of course Malevolent Shrine, can't sleep on that. Anything to do with Jujutsu or damage dealt, I think that will be the wave that you want to kind of focus on, in terms of if you do pull Kamo, to use him in that attacking manner. So that's the situation. He will be in the banner. It's going to be a regular rate. He won't be as Momo's rate, which is a W.